What's up, homie? That's right. I'm just going to address you as one entity. Homie. It's your dog here, Jay Kizzy. And we're going to just get right into it today. The reason why I think it's so hard for people to be in a relationship is the number one thing you got to have is trust. And it was different, when I was coming up. Like I said, we're all arrested development in this business, a lot of people. But when I was coming up and when I started getting, whatever, I was getting successful, but with the success comes fame, which means people know who you are as a byproduct. I didn't get famous by just being famous. I got famous for, movies I was a part of or TV shows I was on. It's really about movies, and then, start doing appearances and different things on television and stuff and then stand up. But now, since everything is disrupted, people can get famous just for being famous, and anyone can get somewhat famous, whether locally, country-wise, or globally, really. There's somebody I just saw had a video at 25 million subscribers, never heard of this girl, young singer. Probably could sell out Staples. I never heard of her. So all that has to do with, what am I talking about with relationships? Well, the world is so fucked up in a sense because it's a big mixed message, right? You've got empowering women, which is great. You got all these feminists that want to empower women. But then you have all of these Instagram thoughts that are using their sexuality to get money, right? And then you got the empowering women group saying they can do whatever they want to make money, which you can. It's going to lead a couple of dogs to sniff on the crumbs, if this makes sense. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that social media makes it very difficult to have a somewhat normal relationship. And it's fucked. And besides all the mixed messages we get, and besides all the mixed messages that are put out there, it's like a strong partner, this and that, and then, use your mind, use your personality, but then sex. It's a lot of mixed messages, right? Like, which is it? And I know the empowering women movement is about like both, right? Like I can do whatever I want. I can have an OnlyFans and you can't shame me, or I can use my brain and you can't shame me. And it's like, but we're not sex objects, but I'm selling my sex object on a OnlyFans. It's confusing, right? I mean, it's not confusing. It's a little bit of like have your cake, eat it too, and gain no calories. It's like a threesome, right? But it doesn't mean it's bad. I'm just saying it's a lot of fucking feathers on that bird. So with that, in this new environment with what we have a new phrase. And what TikTok is full of all of these like armchair chefs, armchair do-it-yourselfers, and a lot of them are very talented. And there's also a whole group of people that are armchair psychologists. And I always say that it's going to be hard to top a comedian, whatever a title is. I hate titles. It's going to be very hard to outwit someone like me or other people in my ilk that you respect, if you respect us, because not only have I been a successful movie actor, those are you have to navigate a lot of rough waters to get into that, right? TV, then a lot of rough waters. But stand up, not just in America, but around the world, you're hit with every situation besides violence, which is starting to happen. So you get very adept at situations. Plus, I was the youngest of a lot of women, Catholic school, Philly. These are all things that make me very formidable opponent for any psychologist. I started going to therapy when I was 16 years old, and I was like the Matt Damon character. I'm like, I always thought I was smarter than the therapist, and I really believe that. I believe most of them are bullshit. They watch the clock, and you break it down, you'll find out how much of, maybe you're an addict, maybe you're a pervert, and it's not projecting back on them. It's just like, you can't go to school for therapy. You got to go to 43rd and Crenshaw and maybe be part of a fucking carjacking, and that's how you're going to learn about psychology. You know what I'm saying? That's what the real shit is. It's world on experience. That's like there are actors, I'm not going to say names, that have gotten very successful, and in the beginning of their career, they stunk. But they were getting on-set training, and they had something that was, whether it was just star power or good looking or something, whatever, and they got better. And then eventually they became really good, and they were always stars because of that on real world training. So as much as you take in a class of any type of thing, it's just not real world training. And that's what comedy is. So if you're an actor, you're a comedian, you're a producer, you travel the world, you get famous, all this different stuff. I have about 7 levels of psychology within me. And let me know if I'm SMID too hard. So anyway, that's all the backstory to this new thing called micro cheating. So it's on TikTok, and there's all of these women on TikTok who are looking to find cheaters, mostly men. You know, girls that'll film you behind your seat in a plane to try to catch you texting. You know, people that put stuff out. There's a whole girl that does a whole thing. I should interview her. I think her name is Paige, and she basically lures men into traps. It's like the best looking bag of cocaine ever, and then she puts it in front of a cocaine addict, and she's like, and then you're like, he wants coke. You know, it's like, it's pretty much entrapment, some of these things. Not all of them, but some of them. So I found the video that was sent to me by someone that wants to educate me, and I'm going to go through her, but for now, I'm going to react to the video, and her name is Essentially Blossomed, and this is called Micro Cheating, What Is It, and the Damage It Does. So I'm going to react to this video, and then I have my comments on it, because there's a lot of people that are going to trip, I think.
Thought I would get on here and talk about a interesting topic that I came up a few months ago. I was reading through some stuff, and it was regards to social media and something called micro cheating. So if those of you out there who've never heard of micro cheating before, micro cheating refers to a form of sketchy lines being crossed, making it more gray, of being like infidelity. That doesn't necessarily relate to physical cheating or emotional cheating per se.
So already, let's just start. So when I grew up, well, in the 70s, I was going to say I was 9. The 80s, I was up until I was like 19. Anything that was cheating was considered physical. From, you know, a kiss all the way down to like butt stuff. So that would be cheating. That's my generation. Anything from a kiss to butt stuff would be considered cheating of babies who were in the 90s.
Unfortunately, since Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all these forms...
She already said gram, which makes me think she's Canadian. So that's already a problem, because Canadians sometimes can be very righteous.
...have come out. It is now creating major problems in relationships.
It's becoming major problems in relationships. Yes, some of those problems are valid, but some of those problems are reading into the situation, what I call a gotcha sitch, where it's like water seeks its own level. Look that up, and you will get what you're finding for. So if you have abandonment issues and issues where you think that you're victimized and you're always going to be cheated on, you're going to look for that, for people to do it to you. That's a classic psychology 101 basic that Dr. Drew will tell you in the back of Bob's Big Boy in Burbank. Like, meet him for a milkshake. Those are basic breakdowns. So already you're leaving that out.
And psychologists and psychiatrists and counselors and therapists are now seeing a whole new level of indiscretion. And
psychologists and therapists and counselors and therapists. So already they're the lords of you.
And forms of infidelity through social media. So I just want to remind you, if you are in a committed relationship with somebody, okay, you need to respect.
Committed relationship, how? Sexually? Physically? If you're in a committed relationship, what does that mean? Since we're getting micro, if we're getting to the micro decibels here, what is committed? So if it's physical, as long as you don't go to the physical bounds, you should be good, correct?
The boundaries of what is appropriate and what is not appropriate on the social media platforms. And that means, this goes for both men and women. Okay, so I'm going to talk on both fronts here. But if you were the person that you were in a relationship and you were hiding stories from other people, and women in particular, if you're a guy, hiding your stories from certain women on your social media, you haven't blocked them, but you're hiding stories from them, or women that are hiding their stories from certain guys so they don't know that they're in a relationship, or they don't know what they're doing, or to prevent them commenting. That is my
hiding. So if you're a guy or a woman, but let's just say a guy, because I identify as a guy, and I am in a relationship, and you are hiding stories, she is saying, I believe, from certain people that follow you, and you're at This is a good trick, by the way. I didn't even know this trick. Where you could basically have milkshake with your boo and milkshakes and riding bikes all day, but then you hide it from like the girls, from certain girls. That's considered a cheat. It's interesting. Okay, but
micro cheating. Okay, that's one example. Another one is liking really inappropriate pictures of the opposite sex constantly, commenting on them, hearting them, having people comment back.
Okay, liking pictures on the opposite sex, inappropriate pictures. Well, some people's accounts are always just a butt. At some point, if you want to maintain this friendship, you got to like one of the butts. I mean, if you're friends with a butt, at one point or a time, you have to like a butt. If it's just a butt, or you're not going to be invited over for Christmas. So just remember this. If you are in a relationship, she's saying, I do agree. Like if there's a chick putting it out there and you're a dude who's in a relationship and you're liking a certain amount of pictures is like sexual, nothing other than sexual. They're not talking about like, science. That's suspect.
This is a form of communication that you are creating through a stranger or another person that is not your partner. It is unacceptable and not okay. Period. When I hear...
But if someone like who is like me, I, build up a fan base. It's harder because we're all building up a fan base. But, if somebody really likes my work and came to a con or came to a show and they happen to, put a lot of like content out there that is, sexually forward and I like some of it, I guess. I mean, it's interesting.
People say, oh my God, she's just super insecure. You're just insecure. It's just social media. You need to shut your fucking mouth because that's not the truth and that's not the case. We didn't...
Okay, right now, hold on. This just changed. I was giving her credit, but now she's gotten personal. So she said, you need to shut your fucking mouth. Okay, that's aggressive. And that's over the line of like being a person who's, just talking. But you aren't totally correct here because there are people that are insecure. I'm insecure. There are people that are jealous. That can happen. I can get jealous. There are people that are a little crazy. You're not saying that. All you're saying is if this person's doing it, it's micro cheating. And you're never saying, yeah, there are crazy psychos.
Have this insecurity in relationships before. And because of social media and because of these boundaries being crossed and because of these lines becoming very gray instead of blinds.
You didn't have this insecurity in relationships before is because you didn't get to see everything. And now you do. So now you're getting to see the real taste of how people are. So that's the question. This is good that you see it all because then you have to decide what's comfortable, what isn't comfortable. So you didn't have these insecurities because this wasn't here. Well, now this is here. But you can't just blame the people that hard a picture is making you insecure.
Black and white. And feeling like you can hide behind this mask of being, well, it's fine, I'm not really doing anything and getting away with the behavior. It's not okay. And that insecurity is being created by you. So if you are that person who likes to justify their behavior by liking pictures, commenting on photos, blocking other women from your...
That insecurity is being created by you. I totally disagree with that. I got to see what this woman's about. And you're a woman. You're a woman. You're a grown woman. You cannot create someone else's insecurity. You can put doubt in their mind. I'm of the firm believer of if you punch me in the face, I'm probably going to cry. And there's extreme examples of this, right? So, but we are in control of our emotions. It's up to us to react the way we want to react, right? So, but yes, people can do things that you just aren't. You are a human being, so you're gonna be hurt. I always say somebody cheating on somebody is the sex isn't the worst part. It's them strolling in the park laughing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they actually have like a connection, like eating a burrito and just giggling all day. That would be like, oh God, like she really likes that guy. Like they're laughing and stuff. Like that's fucking worse than butt stuff. Butt stuff. This should be called this video. So what I'm saying is, to me, a connection that's like really loving is worse than anything. But listen, I'm not the guy to take advice from. I'm just giving you my opinion here. But, and I'm fucking crazy. I've never even been married. I could do a whole other podcast series about, my history of dating or whatever. So
your stories, so they can't see what you're doing. That is not fair to the partner and the person that you are with. And that is considered micro cheating. And it needs to stop. It's disrespectful, period.
Okay, so, I mean, she makes some good points, but she's only giving all the power to the people, which is creating this whole victim thing again. I hate victimization. Like, at some point, you can just choose not to be, because I've seen too many people that have fucked up shit to them that aren't victimized. But yes, there are people that are victimized, and there's people with super high mental adaptitude that just say nothing's going to stop me. And then there's other people that if you just fart in their direction, it's like fucking a crime. So I'm a big believer of overcoming stuff, but also people taking responsibility for their bullshit. So she's correct. It's like this thing I tell people, it's like this big con that guys are doing now where, okay, guys, what I grew up with guys, you know what I'm saying? Where it was dudes. We never, this new generation, man, it's such a con, right? You guys are such con artists, right? So you could be like the softer, gentler guy, but you're almost creepier, right? So guys will be calling girls bro. This is all the time. That's just a way to act like I'm sexually not into the girl. If you call a girl bro, I actually think you want to bang her more. I'll fight anybody on that all day. That's just a con. Everyone knows it. And some of these girls actually believe that shit. If a girl ever gives you a high five, you're in the friend zone. I grew up, women hugged you, women kissed you on the cheek, women called you honey, you know, back and forth. Nothing, no guys were dudes. How you doing, sweetie? That happened. If that's a crime now, it's sad. It's not about words, it's about intentions. There are guys that are old and grab ass and fucking Cuomo, where he said he was Italian, all that shit. Which there was some truth to that. Like, Italians just are touchier. But it doesn't mean, you know, it can overlook creepiness. But you know what I'm saying. You can get the vibe. But now, like, guys overbro it. I'm sorry. I see the bullshit with that. And girls do, too. They're like, this guy's broing me. He really wants me to blowy me. So I think that's hilarious. So, but let's look at the comments, though, because she makes some good points. But I also think this is building into, like, we're in a situation where everyone can see everything at every moment. People have to be okay, or they have to say, this is my boundary. If you cross it, I'm out. They can't stay in and complain. That's what I hate, when people stay in and they complain about shit. So let's look at the comments. I agree with everything except blaming social media. People make a choice. Social media is the entertainment purposes. It's a choice they're making. So if I like a picture of some fit chick in a bikini, that's cheating. This is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. This is a comment. She wrote, back to micro-cheating. Why does it hurt? Social media doesn't create issues. They expose them. And then she wrote in capital letters, boom. I mean, clearly this is a person, I believe she's a little bit hurt, a little bit of an agenda. Like, she wants people to gotcha. I gotcha. I gotcha. You got to put your best foot forward, and you got to put your heart open, and your heart could get trampled. Your heart could get trampled 100 times in your life. At least you loved, right? That's just the way it is. I don't understand why people are so scared of feeling emotions. They're just emotions. You'll get through it. All right. So you walk in and your man is fucking B deep. That's terrible. But guess what? You know where you stand, get out. Or you walk in and your lady is fucking got some dude B deep in her pie hole. These things are not great. They're not going to start your week off good, but you know where you stand. You cry, you get through it, you move on. This is what I'm trying to say. This isn't even about B deep. This is about hearting. How did we get so much more sexually free and wild as a society and more stringent? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not that you personally like the pick. It's that you feel the need to tell that woman in capital that you like her pick. That is what hurts, my man. But that's what you're on social media for likes. That woman wants that like, and she got it. Yeah, it's disrespectful, embarrassing for your woman. Yeah, 100%. If you're in a relationship, super, normal relationship, this to me is absolute insanity. If your partner doesn't like it, then don't do it, period. And then she wrote, yep. Let's say I love coffee ice cream and my partner hates coffee ice cream. Do I have to give up coffee ice cream? If she said, listen, you can't be in a relationship with me if I have coffee ice cream, then I would say, okay, I can't be in a relationship with you. I have to decide, is coffee ice cream bigger than the relationship? But what if I said, hey, I don't like coffee. I love coffee ice cream. You don't like it? I'm going to go eat it out in the street and you just won't know about it. She's like, no, if you have coffee ice cream, you're out. I mean, that's such a one-sided thing. If your partner doesn't like it, then don't do it. Your partner will express to you and you have to decide where the line is for the partner and for you. And you have to decide whether you meet in the middle. It just can't be. They could tell you they don't like any fucking thing. They could tell you they want you in bed by 6 o'clock every fucking night. Yep. I don't like it. Okay, let me do it. That's called being a bitch. Bitch down. It is gaslighting to call the person with concerns jealousy or insecure, especially when the person ends up actually making contact. Yeah, girl, it sure is. Okay, now I'm getting annoyed. This is low key, Karen. Like, yes, it can be gaslighting. Let me fix that for you. To call the person who concerns jealousy or insecure. But also a person can be jealous or insecure. That's just honest. Like, you're just basically saying that no one can make a mistake on the accusing side. But yeah, there's a lot of truth in it, but there's also some victimization here. She put one in her comments, so I'm going to look at that too.
Okay, this is a good comment in regards to my social media post about micro-cheating. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. There is so much. This is a real soft spot for so many people.
Yeah, it is a soft spot because we don't totally agree with you. We agree with you should respect your partner. And if there's a dirty pic, you shouldn't probably like one. But like, let's say I'm in a movie with somebody and a girl has a pic that you may think is dirty and public might say it's a little dirty. And I like it because, she's my co-star. Is that micro-cheating or is that just like liking a coworker to let them know, hey, I see you and whatever? But I understand this is a very gray area.
Just so everybody is aware, I have garnered this information from people I know that work in this profession in psychology.
Who cares? She's a little patronizing now. People that work in this profession, it doesn't mean they're great. I could take you to a medicine man in fucking Bakersfield that would fucking be smarter than most psychologists. I mean, I don't give a fuck about your PhD. I want to know your fucking... I want to break it down so much, and then we'll put it on the internet, and we'll let the good people decide.
And psychiatry, mental health. This is not just a made-up term. I'm not making up micro-cheating as many of you think that I am. I'm not this insecure, disgruntled, bitter woman who has my issues issues that is just coming up with a new term.
Wait, you got to be insecure a teeny bit and disgruntled a little bit. I mean, I'm insecure at moments. I'm disgruntled at moments. So again, you got to be humbled up there. Let me help her psychology-wise. She said, I'm not some disgruntled, bitter woman. Psychology 101. Again, I can meet you, Dr. Drew, in the back of Bob's Big Boy and Beer Brink. It's really simple. If you put yourself above, it's called tall poppy syndrome. We're already going to want to poke holes at you. So you got to come from the most humblest place. So you should be like, I'm a little insecure, I'm bitter. Not all of it, but a little bit. Just do that. Humble yourself down a teeny bit. Not that you're being super braggadocious, but as a psychologist, I'm already questioning you because you gotta not be somewhat of a know-it-all.
Something defined by psychology. So if you don't believe me, then just feel free to go look it up yourself. Anyways, we'll move on from that. You are free to disagree with my opinion. That's totally fine. Although I will say the ones that are disagreeing so much so are the ones that usually are trying to get away with the behavior, don't want to be held accountable, and want to continue with being disrespectful.
That's a lot of truth to that, what she just said. I agree with you. Those fighting back are probably people that are going to be disrespectful. But all you have to say is you have to play the other side and go, there are insecure people out there in relationships that will go too far and hamstring their partners. So you're not saying that at all. So that's already, it's too one-sided.
While you're in a relationship. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I agree with everything except blaming social media. People make entertainment. Sorry, I'm going to reread this. I agree with everything except blaming social media. People make a choice. Social media is for entertainment purposes. It's a choice they are making. Yes, they are. I agree. It is not social media that really, at the end of the day, is the problem. It's the people that are displaying the behavior on the platform. But what my point was to that post was that because social media has created this new dynamic in our world today, it's so much easier for people to display that sketchy, underhanded behavior on social media, and it's damaging and affecting relationships on a global scale. Like, I cannot believe how many people, oh my God, thank you, I'm not crazy. You can tell how many people have been gaslit in their relationships where their partner is still trying to get away with that behavior and making their partner feel like they're crazy by invalidating their feelings. So absolutely, social media is there for entertainment. Use it all day long, but use it in a respectful, appropriate manner, the way it was made to be used for. If you are going to be that...
It's not. No one uses social media respectfully. I'm sorry. It's terrible. It's a pit. It's a pit of hell. And it's not just for entertainment purposes. It's education. There's a lot of people like marketing. There's a lot more. Listen, I agree with what you're saying. I just want you to say, like, yes, there are insecure people and they go too far. But also, there's a bigger question I have.
That person that wants to like all those pictures that your girlfriend has such a problem with, or vice versa, your boyfriend has such a problem with. Women who are posting provocative pictures all the time and their boyfriends are like, oh my God, why do you need to do that? That hurts me. Just validate your person, your person, and try to understand that if the tables were turned, how would you feel? And regardless of that, if they're hurt by the behavior, you need to have empathy and understand where they're coming from. It's not fair, and it's creating it's the demise of people's relationships here. So yes, it's the behavior and the people are the problem. Social media is just an easy tool to exacerbate that issue. So,
okay, I mean, she's making a lot of good points, but my point is that she's not being 100% honest. But look, if my lady was out there liking a bunch of bulges, a bunch of banana hammocks, I may be like, yo, what are you doing? But I wouldn't even notice it because I don't fucking study the social media. So my problem is you could do that shit to me. I wouldn't even fucking know. I don't know how to fucking do that, search history and all that shit. So I'm kind of good like that. But if she was like liking like 5 dudes and grape smugglers and then commenting like, woo, somebody went fruit shopping. Yeah, that would fucking hurt me. I'd be a little fucking butthurt, especially if I'm like paying her fucking bills and buying her sugar fish and shit. But if she said I got to do it to feel free, then I'd be like, okay, well, let's reassess this whatever relationship is. That's the other thing is relationships are so different now. There's people that are pansexuals. Does that mean they fuck a pan? I don't know. So you can't you're defining this by like Disney brand relationships, which is like, that's done. Like there's no normal relationships anymore or basic puritanical relationships it's fascinating. I think I talked about it because like I said, I've never seen our society more sexually like free and like, don't judge me. Now people are like, you liked a picture from February of 2020 when she was on a boat. I was like, what? We're not in fucking junior high. I mean, this woman looks nice. She's probably like she's 38. If you're 38 and if you're over the age at 23 and you're worried about this shit, then you shouldn't be super jealous. People need to take care of their own self, be responsible, understand that they're a solo entity. It's called self-reliance. And then after you have your bills paid, your apartment cleaned, your fucking cupboard stocked, your body flexible from yoga, your mind clear, your morality in check, then maybe you should go have a coffee and say, hey, how are you? And meet someone. But don't push for it. Don't try it. Just let it happen naturally. But people need to clean up so much of their own shit before bringing it to someone else because then they put a lot of their shit on people. So what I'm saying is I'm in and out with this. I think there's a lot of truth to it, but I think there's also, I see some victimization. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Listen, a lot of people have been coming up to me. They're saying, I like your content. And I think the fucking algorithm is trying to fuck me. So like this, subscribe, comment, and I'm going to start doing videos, I believe, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it'll be noon. And then I think I'm going to do one Patreon video every Saturday night and put it out. So I think I'm going to have 4 pieces of content with me each week. It's going to be 3 videos that you get on YouTube, and free on audio and free on YouTube. And then you're going to get a Patreon for people that want to do that. For things that I can't really talk about and be a little bit more freer over there. But love you guys. It's been awesome. You be safe. Bye-bye.